Sometimes squad players do. If they were getting Rice, Caicedo, Lavia, etc., then it would be a good decision. If it's Rice and Lavia, then a gamble that will backfire in the form of El Neni. And that kind of brings us on to the conversation around Arsenal, because there's been a lot of talk in the last few days. Some Arsenal fans again angry, rivals kind of digging at Arsenal for you haven't got the Rice deal done yet. I was talking to the ex-West Ham employee today. I say talking, we were exchanging messages. And I was sent him through a few of the rumors, the attacks on Arsenal, the notion that City, or there was a story last night from Claret and Hugh that Manchester United are feeling really confident because Arsenal have put a second bid in, and the second bid is the same amount as the first bid, but better structured. That's been rejected, and they're starting to feel like there's some problems. But the ex-West Ham employee is very reliable with West Ham news, and he just said, and I'll quote verbatim what he said. He just basically said that, let me just read it out here because I don't want to misquote him in any way, shape, or form. He said this stuff publicly as well and on his Patreon, so I don't think it's classified or anything. He says, I think Arsenal will sign him, and it's DS, so David Sullivan, trying to drive up the price. Only really City have registered a proper interest. So Man United, as of now, haven't even registered a proper interest in him. It's very much West Ham talking this up. They're going to get that deal done. Concrete links to Lavia. And I know I've seen you and Jess in the last few days in the group chat, Don, getting into some arguments and debates over Lavia because Chelsea are looking at him. But they're looking at, but do Arsenal need, if Partey is to leave with Xhaka, Rice and Lavia, do they need, is Kai Havertz enough with a Rice and a Lavia? Rice, Lavia, Havertz coming in. Is that a big enough upgrade on the Arsenal midfield, Jess?
Yeah, because people have such like an unrealistic expectation of how many good players you need in your team. You need 2 really good quality DMs. That's about it. Maybe 3. 2. That's all you need. Your DM is going to play damn near every game. And then you're going to have another guy that's kind of just like behind him. So if you have Rice and you also have Lavia and you also have Jorginho, you're fine. Relax. This idea that like every single player is going to get injured at once. We didn't have a single one of those situations happen last season. We had 1, maybe 2 players injured at the same time. Just doesn't happen like that. And then you have Havertz, if that's who you bring in. You have Odegaard, you have ESR, you have Vieira. All of them plus Rice can play in that 10 and 8 position. You're fine. Like, I think people just, it's because it's not the players that they wanted, or they wanted Caicedo and they're not sure about so-and-so, that they're being like, I hate to say it, but like very dramatic and unrealistic about certain things. But that is more than enough midfielders. You only need 7, max 8 in your team that you trust. You don't need 10. It doesn't make sense because not everybody's going to get minutes. The only thing about going from Partey to Lavia is the experience. But going from Xhaka to Rice is an upgrade. Bringing in Kai Havertz on top of already having Emile Smith-Rowe and Vieira, that's an upgrade in my opinion. So it's like I don't really understand it, but when it comes down to Arsenal fans, like anxiety, trauma, PTSD, that's all up and through. So I understand like the constant, but like you guys, like the numbers, like even if you just look at the numbers, you can only have a certain amount of players in your squad. So having 10 midfielders just to have them doesn't make sense. Like it just doesn't. So I think it's enough.
Yeah, I think Lavia is the wrong move. I think you need McRice. I think that McTominay Rice combination would be
Get out
excellent.
of here.
And then we have Lavia, and then that'll be wonderful. Now I think Arsenal needs, yes, they need the quality also. We all know that, but like I think how Arsenal are going about their transfer window, if you look at the track record over since I would say 2 seasons ago, since like the Ben White summer and onwards, they've had a very good track record. Mikel Arteta and the Arsenal board and the scouts know who and why they want people. And I think a lot of people just want Arsenal's transfer windows to fail, or they want to over ensure that they have enough players just in case like things flop. But really and truly, as a fan base, I think Arsenal fans should be a bit more relaxed about how the things are going. Like, you got your main target, you've got your sub targets, and you've only really having to, I hate this word, pivot, but you've only had to pivot a couple of times. And yes, I like to question Arsenal's ability to get the big name transfers, but I'm a rival. But as an Arsenal fan, if I was sitting there, I'll be like, no, this is fine. Like we've got a plan. Selling Partey or not, selling Xhaka or not, you're going to the next level anyway, because you guys have got the ambition. So yeah, I think you guys are in a better spot than some Arsenal fans think. It's only until the end of the window we will actually see if there's an issue with how you've gone about it or not. But for now, just relax in it.
Oh my gosh, telling them to relax is like, oh my gosh, but it's like,
hey, listen, my fan base are Man United fans, man. Like,
yeah. I mean, the fact that I hate to be that person, but like the fact that people thought that West Ham were going to finish that final and on the whistle we were going to send a bid just speaks to like the level of like, no, that's not how it goes. And I understand that there's like an apprehension around like, well, if we leave it too long, we'll get hijacked and all that kind of stuff. But I think there's a level of confidence that like Arsenal feel like he wants to come there, and nobody else is really going to come in with £100 and something million bid and blow us out of the water. So just like relax for a minute. Like if it goes bad, then we can talk about it going bad, but like nothing has happened yet. I think the only thing I can really understand is like the Havertz thing, because it's like nobody expected us to go in for Kai Havertz, but everything else, just let it roll. Like you have more fun when you're more relaxed and you're not so attached to every single link. We get linked to 50 people a window. You get like attached to everybody. You're gonna need a therapist by like the end of the window, like for real. So
Terry,
yeah.
what was the initial question you asked Jess so I could answer it correctly? I don't want to misquote you.
If Arsenal were to allow Xhaka and Partey to leave, and the replacements were Lavia, Rice, Havertz,
yeah,
would that be an adequate upgrade?
No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't. I think Rice is definitely a game changer. He walks straight into your 11, but again, going back to Kai Havertz, a lot of Arsenal fans think he's going to play left centre mid. Some Arsenal fans are saying he's going to play in attack. In all honesty, none of us know. Only Mikel Arteta knows. But the opinion I can give you is based off of what I've seen from Havertz in the past 3 years that he's been at Chelsea. I know he had a good spell in Germany, but there's been a lot of players that have come from Germany come over here and it hasn't worked out for them. Look at Sancho, for example. Now, I'm not saying that Havertz ain't going to do better than what we've seen at Chelsea, because I'm sorry, the bar at the moment at Chelsea is so low. It's not going to be hard to look better in a system that has more structure and a system which has a clear role for you to play as well. Because with Havertz, I mean, he's been played in multiple positions for us, but he's mainly been played down the middle. And like I've said multiple times, we brought him in as a versatile player. That's what was sold to us. Same thing with Caicedo. We're bringing in a versatile player. So we're going to expect him to be able to play in various positions. Same thing as Havertz, right? But when I'm looking at his attributes, he's not a left centre mid. If I'm coming up against a midfield of Havertz, Odegaard, and Declan Rice, I'm sorry, I'm rubbing my hands before the game, because on the ball, he's not physical. He needs a lot of space and time in order to actually create chances. He's got a good pass on him, but on the ball, getting out of tight spaces, nipping out, when he loses it as well, he's not the greatest at pressing. What he does do is open up a lot of space. That's why I think Arteta is going to bring him in to play that Firmino role. But one thing about Firmino is, as much as he linked up with Salah and Mane, he's still got quite a lot of goals. Havertz in front of goal, people call him Shy Havertz, and that wasn't for no reason. His finishing isn't great. So when I'm looking at his attributes and how there's the player that I've seen the past 3 years, I can't see how he plays that left centre mid role and takes you up that next level. I think it's good squad depth, because I was happy to keep him off the bench, but for me, I would rather start Nkunku in that 10 ahead of Havertz, right? But him moving on, I've got no problem with it, because I don't see it as someone that's going to move that needle for you guys where you're looking to go. Rice, amazing signing. Lavia, I want him. I still want him now with Caicedo, but I think he's more for the future. Really good player. He's going to be a top player. But Havertz, in all honesty, he's not a specialist in anything. He's good at a few things here and there, but there's no clear attribute of him. He's not right for that left centre mid role. He's not right.
Can I respond to that, Terry, or no?
Go for
it. No, the only thing I'm saying is like, this is why like I think you're looking at it from This is that really Lee Gunner or no?
That is
Yeah, it is,
I mean,
baby.
like,
real
Big
Lee
up,
Gunner.
Lee.
this is
Real
not
Lee
your
Gunner,
yeah.
show, Lee. This is not
The
your
real
show.
Lee
This is not your
Gunner,
day.
please
This is not
stand up.
Tuesday. No, but I think you look at it from the perspective of like how you saw like Havertz for so long. I don't think you can ignore the very, like, everybody knows that Ornstein is pretty much as reliable as it gets. Like, in terms of a journalist, like, he knows what he's talking about. He said Arsenal were going to go in for a number 6 and a number 8. And when we couldn't get Mount, we pivoted to Havertz. So obviously he's being brought into. Shut up, KJ. Already, I see you. I saw what you're about to do. Oh, you missed out on your number 1 target.
Mount would have been good. Mount would have been good.
I saw you.
Yes, Mount would have been a better signing than Havertz. I'll be real.
I agree. I agree.
Oh, yeah, but he would have been, like, obviously I think he would have been. I like Mount. Terry.
Mount would have suited our system.
Terry back me.
No. Jess wanted Mount. Jess was actually excited about the idea of getting Mason Mount at Arsenal.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll be good with Mikel.
But back to my like original point about what we're going for was 1-6, 1-8, you know, and even though it's like people get so hung up on positions, 8, 10, whatever, the player that's going to play in that Xhaka position, play next to Odegaard, that person, and a number 6. So like Caicedo, Lavia, that's like an extra signing if we lose, you know, Thomas Partey. You know, I think.
Sorry, go on. Finish your point. I thought you finished.
All I'm saying is that like he's definitely going to play midfield. Like I actually would put like cash money on it. Like I would. Because
I want him to play. I want him to play.
Wait, let me land really quick. Let me just land really quick.
Let the explanation come in, guys.
So, the reason why I say that is because at the very at the very end of the season, Arteta put Thomas Partey at right back. And we played with 3 at the back like we always do. The reason why you can play Kai Havertz and Odegaard next to each other is because you're going to play Rice and either Thomas Partey or Lavia or Caicedo or whoever you bring in that box midfield and play 3 at the back. That's it. Just to me, it's like it's so obvious what we're going to do based on what happened at the end of the season, the way that we play, how he played and where he played at Chelsea, where everybody says that he was mismanaged, not played in the right position. You guys didn't know where he played. I would say I would throw away anything that he did at Chelsea and say whatever we're doing, it's so obvious. Like I don't think what he did at Chelsea has anything to do with what he do at Arsenal, period.